Hello everybody, Lotu for Life. You're bringing us a brand new video. So, I got a lot of catching up to do with all the cards that have been revealed in the past few days. I took yesterday off because oh my god, I was so busy. But today, we're gonna get back at it with with discussing about the new Dragma archetype. I'm probably gonna pump out 2 videos today. I normally try to do one, but since I gotta catch up on so many cards, I figure 2 will be good. So yeah. Anyway, so this is the Dragma archetype, and seems to be starting the next like storyline. You know how like Konami's been doing like stories and everything with cards, like for instance, throughout most of, I would say almost the entire Link era, we got the World Legacy storyline. I mean, some sets are more focused on it than others, but for the most part, we got like a progression in the story of the World Legacy stuff in like every set. And this seems to be the next story that they're going to start up with, featuring the Dragmas and our adorable hero here, Ecclesia the Dragma Saint. It's actually, I believe, stated over here somewhere that she is the main character, because they actually are doing this really cool thing where they are showing off the reference artwork for these characters more and more. Like, heck, we got the other, like, who I'm just getting the feeling is going to be like the other main character of the story. But also Ecclesia, which is just awesome. Like, I mean, I freaking loved her artwork, and then they showed this off, and I'm like, oh my god, I love her more. And they gave a lot of detail in here too. Konami, make a freaking anime of these stories. Like, holy crap. According to this, she's 15. She's 160 centimeters tall. So that puts her, what, just a little bit over 5 feet. And apparently she loves to eat a lot, and especially loves rice. But that's enough little extra detail. Let's get on with the actual card. Ecclesia, the Dragma Saint. She's a level 4 light spellcaster effect monster, 1500 attack, 1500 defense. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn each, and if... well, she's got 3 really good effects overall, and heck, this archetype just overall looks amazing. So first effect, if a monster that was special summoned from the extra deck is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add a Dragma card from your deck to your hand, except a copy of herself. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn. And then, she cannot be destroyed by battle if a monster is special summoned from the extra deck. This is actually like on most of them, at least in all the level 4s, as well as also this first effect is on most of the level 4s as well. Actually, it's on most of the cards, and then the boss monsters kind of switch out for a different effect to special summon themselves. But she is a really good starter for the archetype. I mean, really good for normal summoning, really good for special summoning too. Just a really good card overall, and heck, we're gonna get to the others. Like, this is like the only really bad one I would say here, but I digress. This deck is really interesting in how it wants to play, in that it is very much an anti-extra deck, but it still wants to use the extra deck, just not in the ways that you might be thinking of. Ecclesia is definitely a really good one. I think she's probably going to definitely be a 3 of in the deck, because, I mean, she's the Rhoda, the Stratos, I should say. Then we got the one who I'm not sure if he's going to be played at all after we get the next wave of support, because he's just kind of okay, but not particularly great. This is Theo, the Dragma Iron Hammer. Really cool artwork, too. I mean, just, I love this, like, gauntlet kind of thing that he's got going. It's cool looking. But anyways, he's a level 4 light spellcaster effect, 1800 attack, 1500 defense. You only use the first and third effect once per turn. First effect is the same special summoning effect. Second effect cannot destroy battle, so same. They, like, pretty much all the level 4s and a lot of the big guys share these first two effects, so they can't be destroyed by battle from a monster that was special summoned from the extra deck. And if there is a special summon monster from the extra deck on the field, you can summon it from your hand for, well, just free. Then his unique effect is that you can target a face-up monster that's summoned from the extra deck. Until the end of this turn, this card gains 600 attack, and if it does, the target loses 600 attack. It's not a bad attack gain, and I mean, heck, it puts a 1200 attack point difference between him and an opponent's extra deck and a monster, which is pretty cool. I mean, he jumps to 24, so he can technically run over pretty much anything that's up to 3k, which is really nice. And then they got another monster that can boost the attack even higher, so that is pretty decent. But, I mean, it's not really enough to really warrant, I mean, the instant this deck gets more support, he's getting cut. Like, if they get, like, another monster that does anything a bit more utility focused in the next set after Rise of the Duelist, I guarantee you, like, every build of this deck is going to cut him, because the attack boost is just not enough to really warrant it. I mean, I hate saying that because it's a pretty good attack difference, but, like, attack modulation just isn't that good in Yu-Gi-Oh! Anymore, and honestly, it probably never was, but he can get over some big beaters. He can punch over Winda easy, so, I mean, he's probably going to be played as a one of after Rise of Duelist, if at all. But before, I mean, during Rise of Duelist, he's probably going to be played as a 2 of just because he's another name. So, there's that. Then we got Aiden, the Dragma Oracle, who is pretty cool looking too. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the cleric type, but oh well. So let's see here. Level 4 light spellcaster effect, 1k attack, 1800 defense. First 2 effects are the same as the other 2. And then if he's on the field, is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can summon a Dragma monster from your deck, except for a copy of himself. I mean, he's a destroy special summon dude. There's ways to trigger his effect on your own turn, so that can cheese out monsters pretty easy. I mean, heck, he can cheese out some of the bigger boss monsters, which is kind of cool. But he can't cheese out all of them. But actually, wait. Yeah, he can cheese out all but the big boss monsters. So that is a pretty cool thing. Again, I don't know how relevant he's going to stay in the deck moving forward after Rise of the Duelist, but pretty decent for, starting card. Kind of makes me want to try out, like, maybe Metal Foes or something in this deck. I know somebody was talking about maybe Zodiac, but I don't know. Zodiac got Barrage hit to 1 for us, so I feel like Metal Foes might be a bit better, but I don't know. Moving on, we got Fleur-de-Lis, the Dragma Knight, who, my god, I love this artwork. This card looks so cool. Like, seriously, holy crap, it's just so beautiful. And this reminded me of a game I used to play called, it was a card game, let's see here. I have it on my favorites, I think, still. Where is it? God, it was a really old card game. Now I'm just showing off my Steam collection. Screw it. I don't know. It was God, it was like Legion or something. It was this animated 2D card game on Steam that I used to play a lot, and there was this angel tribe in it that has very similar, very, very, very similar art style to this. So that is something that I just was like reminded of, and it looks pretty cool. I like it. But moving on to the actual effect, 2500 attack, 2500 defense, it's a level 8. You can only use each of its effects once per turn, and it's a hard once per turn too for both. During the main phase, if a monster was special summon from the extract if a monster that was special summon from the extract is on the field as a quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand, and then if you control another Dragma monster, you can negate the effects of one face-up monster on the field until the end of this turn. So, because it's a quick effect special summon, this card is probably going to be better going, like, during your opponent's turn, just because then you can, like, chain to, like, your opponent summoning a monster, and because it happens on resolution of its special summon, you can chain, like, it'll be able to resolve and you'll be able to negate something. It's kind of like how Conquistador works in Eldritch, where you chain its effective special summon itself, and then it immediately gets to pop a card in the same, like, chain, because it's a part of the summoning effect. So, unless I'm totally misreading this, because I am not one for rollings, but I believe that's how it works. And that, if it works like that, this is a really good hand trap for the deck. But it can also work on your own turn and be able to, like, just negate cards that might negate, or, like, force a negate or something. And it can also, of course, force out other, like, just baits in general. This card's just great for that as a whole. And then when your Dragma monster clears an attack, you can make all Dragma monsters you control gain 500 attack. Pretty decent right there. Then we got, that's just like a cherry on top to the main effect. Then we got Maximus Dragma, who is probably the leader of the Dragma. I don't know, cult, religion, something like that. I mean, this is clearly like a religious sect kind of thing that they got going here. So it'll be interesting to see how things go on moving forward. Especially since they seem to be like, I saw somebody was like talking about like how, this seems to be like a religious doctrine kind of thing. Because, you know, Dragma is a play on the word of dogma. You know, like a religious dogma, like the rules of a religion. Except it's a Dragman dogma, or Dragon's Dogma. Great game if you haven't played it. But it is a interesting thing to note with that. And as we'll see later on, they fight a dude, this guy here, in the artwork, and of course we got his concept art too, who, that just makes me think Altamorte is going to be like the secondary main character. And he actually does use he has an extract monster that also correlates to this archetype really well. So, that, since they're fighting and everything, it seems to me that, like, this is going to become a really interesting story of, like, maybe, like, Ecclesia leaving the, like, a Dragma cult or whatever, and, like, maybe helping out this dude, his name is Albus, and I don't know, it's going to be interesting to see how this story goes. I really, really like the lore that Konami builds with their archetypes in recent years, like with the World Legacy. I love it, and I can't wait to see where this is going to go, because this just makes me want an anime even more based on the card lore. Come on, Konami. Anyway, so let's get back to Maximus here. He's a level 8 light spellcaster effect monster, 1500 attack, 3k defense. I won't lie, I really wish these stats are switched. Having a 3k beater that's super easy to summon would be great, but oh well. You can only use the first and second of this card's names once per turn, so you can only use each of his effects once per turn. You can banish one Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, or Link monster from your graveyard, special summon this card from your hand. During your main phase, you can activate this effect. You cannot special summon monsters from the extract for the rest of the turn. Also send, 2 monsters with different names from your extract to the graveyard, and then your opponent sends 2 monsters from their extract to the graveyard. So as you can see, again, this deck is super anti-extract and wants to pick it apart, and it uses your own extract to be able to use that too. So, I only wish that it was like it said you can banish one monster that was summoned from the extract from your graveyard. I don't know. That seems like it'd be more future-proofing for future possible summoning mechanics. I'm hoping they don't add any more summoning mechanics, Konami. But however, that is something to keep in mind. But being able to banish any of the main extract mechanics, I kind of wish it would include pendulums in there too. But I guess they aren't technically from the extract, so whatever. But however, it is something to keep in mind. And then the effect to, like, send 2 from your extract to the graveyard with different names. This is one of the reasons why people are really considering this deck for being used in, like, ritual decks. I've seen a lot of people talk about being able to use them in, like, Heralds or Necros and stuff like that, Cyber Angels. And it's because with this, you can send 2 dudes from your extract, like, for instance, I don't know, Herald of the Arclight and Ints. Unts will get to destroy a card on the field, and Herald of the Arclight will let you search a card. And then, oh hey, at the same time, you're getting rid of 2 cards from your opponent's extract. And then, of course, there's other really good targets out there, too, that have effects in graveyard and stuff. Like, there was a new Fossil Fusion monster, who I'll cover in a later video, who has an effect in graveyard to banish himself and pop a card. Like, it's just, there's so many utility things you can do with this deck, with Maximus and the other cards that can send dudes from the deck to graveyard. Like, you can send Cypher Lord Omega and recycle your cards more often. So, that is something else to consider, too. This is a really, really good card overall for this archetype, and I really like it. Even though I get the feeling I'm not going to like Maximus as a character moving forward with the story, so that's just a feeling I'm getting. And then we got Tetradragmaton, the Heart of Dogma. Interesting thing to note is that he does not have Dragma in the name. Oh, wait, no, there it is, Dragma. Tetradragmaton. There we go. The Heart of Dogma. Something I can't tell is if this is an actual, like, living dragon or if it's just a statue or something. I really can't tell. But however, it is the symbol of the archetype here. Like, for instance, Ecclesia's shield has the symbol, has a, like, outline of Tetradragmaton on her shield. So that is something interesting to note. Or, wait, she doesn't have a shield. Where is that then? Oh, I guess it's, it's the, little, like, light aura coming out of her hammer. Okay. Anyway, so this is the big boss monster, the big guy. So, cannot be normal summoned or set, must first be special summoned by its own effect. That is kind of annoying. I wish you could cheese them out with Aiden, but oh well. He's a level 11 light spellcaster effect, 3200 attack, 3200 defense, so he's a big beefy boy. Level 11 too, which you don't see too often. Already told you that he can't be summoned. It's by his own effect. First be special by his own effect. You can target 4 Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, and or Link monsters in either graveyard. Special discard from your hand, and if you do, banish those targets. That is mean. Especially if you can hit cards out of your opponent's graveyard only. That just can really screw over certain decks that really want to be able to recycle stuff from the graveyard. Like, could you imagine if you're going against Burning Abyss and like you get rid of their 3 Dantes along with like something else? That'd be just mean as heck. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles a special summon monster, destroy as many opponent's attack position monsters as possible. Then inflict 800 damage to your opponent for each Fusion, Synchro, Link, or Xyz monster destroyed by this effect. So, very, very powerful effect. He honestly reminds me a lot of Malefic Truth Dragon with the second effect and destroying everything and doing damage and everything. This can stack up really fast, especially since he's 3200. That can run over a lot of things. So, this is a really good card overall. I don't know how many you're going to play in the initial builds of Dragma. Probably 2, maybe 3. I don't know. I mean, I feel like this might be a bit hard to get off, though. But at the same time, considering this deck is all about getting dudes into the graveyard, and they have other ways of doing it, too, I don't know. Anyways, next up we got the Dogmatic Nation Dragma. So we got the Nation of Dragma, and wow, look at that. The castle, nice and shiny and pretty, and then the whole rest of the town not looking so pretty. I don't know. I mean, that's raising even more flags for how this cult might not be so nice. Anyways, sorry, I shouldn't say cult. We don't know how bad it is. The dogma of the Dragma Nation, whatever. Field spell. You can only use the second and third effect of this card's name once per turn. Neither player can target Dragma monsters you control with effects of effect monsters that were special from the extract. That's really good. So you get battle protection for their own effects, and then you also get the effect targeting protection too from the field spell. That's really nice. If your Dragma monster battles an opponent's monster, after damage calculation, you can destroy that monster. Keep in mind that Dragmas can't be destroyed in battle by monsters that are special summoned from the extract, so you can ram into your opponent's big beefy boy and pop him, which is really nice. If this face-up card in the field zone is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can make both players send 1 monster from the extract to the graveyard. So that punishes your opponent for destroying this card. So, oh, they want to get rid of the targeting and the monster destruction. Oh, okay, now you got to lose a card out of your extract on top of wasting a card on popping this. So, really, really good field spell all around. I kind of wish I'd like give you an extra summon or something, or a search on activation. But I feel like these 3 effects are pretty good overall for the field spell. Next up, we got Disciple of the Nadir. Don't know where the Nadir is coming from in this, but I mean, wouldn't it be better to call it Disciple of Dragma or something? And it actually just dawned on me, since it doesn't have Dragma in the name, it's not searchable, which is a bit annoying, but oh well. Looks like we got the Albus guy coming into play here. He's kind of in a dragon form, diving in, which the dragon form is the fusion down here, which is really cool looking. I love it. Really awesome design. Heck, you can... It might actually be... His art might actually be him crashing down onto the ground after coming out from on the artwork of Disciple. That's kind of cool. Anyway, so... Send 1 monster from your extract to the graveyard, then add a Dragma monster or 1 Albus Denolius Filius. God, that name. From your deck or graveyard to your hand with attack less than or equal to Descent monsters. For the rest of this turn, after this card resolves, you cannot spell summon monsters from the extract. So yeah, it's basically just another searcher along with good old Ecclesia. You're probably going to play 3 of her and 3 of this. It's really good overall. Any card from your extract too, that is really, really good. Next up, we got Dragma Punishment. It's a normal trap card and shows the 2500 beater along with Albus and Dragon form battling each other, which is pretty cool. Normal trap card. Actually, doesn't even look like he's fighting. It looks like he just got like cross-slashed or something. Let's see here. You can only activate 1 card of discard name per turn. Target a face-up monster your opponent controls. Send a monster from your extract to the graveyard with an equal or higher attack, and if you do, destroy that target monster. Till the end of your next turn after this card resolves, you cannot spell some monsters from the extract. So, like, mainly with this, I see you, like, sending, like, I don't know, shooting shooting. I just hit myself on my desk. Darn it. So I mainly see like sending like, I don't know, shooting Quasar Dragon or something to like pop stuff. Kind of makes me want to try out maybe mixing Cyberdarks in with this. Like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like that like with all of this extra extending and stuff, the Cyberdarks would love it. But I don't know. I mean, especially since this deck doesn't like normal summon, so it's an idea. I don't think it's a good idea, but I like to try bad ideas. Then we got probably my favorite artwork of all these cards, Dragma and Counter. You can definitely tell that like she's got like some kind of looks like she's hesitating to just whack them, but at the same time, I don't know. She might be just about to whack them. Anyways, it's a normal trap card. You can only activate one card to discard same per turn, and you get to activate one of these effects when you do activate it. Special summon a Dragma monster or one Albus from your hand, or you take one Dragma monster or one Albus from your graveyard and either add it to your hand or special summon it. So it's an archetypal monster reborn, or just special summon from your hand during your first turn, or from your graveyard during your opponent's turn, the other person's turn. The really nice thing with this is that it combos super well with Albus, and we're going to cover Albus here in a second, but it also works really nice for the other decks, because then you can like trigger Ecclesia's effect during your opponent's turn. You can get like, I don't know, actually that's like the main one. She's the only one that has an effect that activates on summon. So I mean, you can recur an Aiden to be able to protect yourself from getting killed, so there's that too. But you're mainly going to be bringing back either Ecclesia or Albus. And funny enough, those are the two on the card art, because they're the two that are best to summon off of this, because Ecclesia will get a search, and Albus will get his effect off. And this is where we get to the fun stuff, because Albus not only looks cool, he reminds me a lot of Gig from Soul Nomad, for like the 5 of you who've probably played that. Actually, who am I kidding? It's probably 2. If 1. I might be the only one. Anyways, yeah, he looks a lot like Gig from Soul Nomad, which is pretty cool. And we got Albus the Nolius Filius. What the heck is this? Okay, so Nolius Filius is Latin for nobody's son. They're going to turn this into some crappy pun in the TCG, aren't they? I'm calling it now. What's Albus? Oh, it's type of plant? You mean world? Whiteness? White leprosy? Alfu. So, it can also mean cloud. So he's the world nobody's son of the world. I don't know. Just kind of weird how, I mean, I like how they are including these links to the like different etymology, and it just carries over to the name of his dragon form, which I can't say thanks to YouTube, but this word means an illegitimate son. It's also the name of a type of sword, but I digress. So that's his dragon form. Anyway, so level 4 Dark Dragon effect monster, 1800 tag, 0 defense, and they are totally changing this name. You can only use his name effect once per turn, and he only has one effect. If this card is normal or special summon, you can discard one card, fusion summon one fusion monster from your extract using this card on the field, and monsters your opponent controls as fusion material. That's right, this guy is a walking super poly. So you discard a card and then fusion summon using himself and your opponent's monster. This is really, really good. I mean, heck, you don't have to go for his dragon form, but his dragon form is really good, so there's that. But you can also make Starving Venom, which is pretty neat. So, like, if you're going against, like, Shadal's or something, you could, I don't know, chain to Shadal, fusion Dragma, and counter to special summon him. Your opponent summons whatever they're summoning. Like, let's say they summon Winda. Albus effect, discard, special summon, fuse off with the Winda. There's that. A lot of combos you can do with him in the trap card to just summon him during your opponent's turn. Very, very good card overall. I can't wait to see what other fusions this archetype's going to get with him, because that's going to be, like, probably the most interesting thing with him. And then we got Illegitimate Son, the Ashen Dragon, because I can't say the name. They're probably just going to call it Ashen Dragon. I hope that's what they do. Don't give it some stupid other name. Watch them actually keep this. It'd be hilarious. They, what was it? I was watching, God, I can't remember. Oh yeah, Starving Venomy. I was watching my old versus video because I was thinking about making another versus video, and I remembered that. Oh yeah, I said that they probably won't keep Lethal Dose in Starving Venomy's name, and then I went and checked the card now that he's actually out in TCG, and they actually did keep it in the name. So who knows? Maybe Konami might push some boundaries here and put that as his name here. But anyways, he's a level 8 Dark Dragon fusion effect monster, which is pretty cool that he's level 8. So like, if you really wanted to, maybe once we get some other fusions or dragons, you can like run like Return of the Dragon Lords or something. 25 2k, needs Albus plus a monster with 2,500 or more attacks, so he's mainly going to be fusing off your opponent's like boss monsters. You can only use his third effect of this card's name once per turn. First effect gains attack equal to the total original levels of the monsters used as material for this card's fusion summon times 100. So just with Albus alone, that's 4. So if like you have to fuse off of your opponent's Link or Xyz, he's only going to be 2,900. But oh, if your opponent has like, I don't know, the Blue Eyes White Dragon on the field, you can fuse with him, and then oh, that's 1,200 more attack power, so he's 3,700. That's kind of mean. After this card is fusion summoned for the rest of his turn, it is unaffected by activated effects from other monsters that were special summoned from the extra deck. That's really cool too, just kind of being a big chum blocker. And then during the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you can take one Dragma monster or one Albus from your deck and either add it to your hand or special summon it. That is really cool too, because with so many effects to send monsters from the extract to the graveyard, you can send him to the graveyard and then during the end phase get a search or a special summon. So like you can take like Ecclesia or Heck Aiden or Albus and summon them during the end phase or add them to your hand to use next turn. This is a really good card overall for the archetype, and I think that you're probably going to play 3 of them in the deck just for that third effect mainly, so then you can send them to a graveyard. I don't know if like Albus is going to be heavily played just yet in Dragma by themselves. They probably will play him because he is a pretty good card overall. But however, I feel like he's going to get played and heavily abused in like other decks because he is a walking super poly that can make Starving Venom very easy. So that is everything for this archetype. I really like this archetype. It's got really good appeal. Ecclesia is best girl. I absolutely love her. Although, I mean, she's also the only girl, so I guess she wins by default anyways. This archetype looks really cool. I can't wait to get around to playing it and playing with it. What do you guys think about Dragma? This is a really cool deck. I really want to try this out. I can't wait to get... I need to download the new version of Ygopro because this looks like so much fun, and people are joking that she looks like Ray, and now that I say that, she really does. But I digress. What do you guys think? Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. It's your birthday. Happy birthday, and see you all later. Peace out. Thank you all for watching the video. Have a great day. It's your birthday. Happy birthday. Rate, comment, and subscribe, and see y'all later.